Welcome back to The Truth About Us. It's the podcast where we talk about the conversations that many of us men are only thinking about, but few of us are actually saying out loud. So I'm Don Crampert from Unstoppable Life, and I am your host. And I created this podcast, for the men like me who carry responsibility quietly. The men who provide and protect and lead and support everyone else, often without the support of their own. So here I'm going to explore identity and confidence, emotional strength, relationships, and what it really means to rediscover who we are beyond pressure and expectations. Because the truth is, strength should not mean silence. And today we're going to be talking just about the cost of being the strong one. So it all starts with the roles that we didn't really apply for. See, somewhere along the way, many of us get assigned a role that we never officially applied for. And I know you know these, so I'm going to list them out. The strong one, the reliable one, the calm one, the one who handles it, the one who doesn't fall apart. And maybe it started way back when we were a child, in our childhood. Maybe it was in the military, maybe in a relationship or marriage, maybe it was our fatherhood, or maybe at work. But eventually, it becomes an identity. And once that identity forms over and over, it gets very hard to stop and step outside of it. And you know why? I discovered this on my own. It's because men, right? We don't start depending on the version of us. We stop depending on a version of us. And the scary part is once we start depending on that version of us, it happens to us too often. So the hidden pressure behind that is being the strong one sounds admirable, right? And in many ways it is. But there's a hidden cost that almost no one talks about, right? When we're the strong one, and hopefully this will be resonant with you, we become the person everyone leans on, but we stop leaning on anyone else. We stop leaning on anyone else. We become the problem solver, but we stop sharing our own problems. Does that sound familiar? We become the calm voice during the chaotic times, but our own chaos stays kind of internal. And over time, strength quietly turns into emotional isolations. And it's not because people, our friends and family, don't care, but it's because they assume or don't know that we don't need support. And eventually, we start assuming that ourselves. So there is a thing I call the emotional debt that's really hard, and it hits us difficult times. So every time we suppress anything, including stress, and every time we say, I'm fine, and every time we power through our exhaustion, and every time we just carry that pressure silently, we are taking on emotional debt. And like any debt, it compounds over time. And that debt kind of shows up as irritability, exhaustion, loss of motivation maybe, disconnection, kind of feeling numb, maybe even some quiet resentment, and definitely a loss of identity. And this doesn't happen overnight. We don't just break down overnight. We slowly drift into those conditions, and then one day we kind of wake up thinking to ourselves, at least for me, why don't I feel like myself anymore? So one of the reasons why strong men don't ask for help, and this is very important, most of us don't stay silent because we want to. We stay silent because we believe we should. And that's a common belief. Think about this. Listen, I should be able to handle this. Oh, other people have it worse than me. Oh, I don't want to burden anyone. I just need to push through it. This is my responsibility. Does that sound familiar? So instead of asking for help, we just become more useful. We work harder and more. We provide more. We solve more. We carry more. Because usefulness feels safer than vulnerability. But I will tell you, usefulness is not the same as being okay. That's what I call an identity trap. And here's the deeper truth behind that. When we've been the strong one for years and decades, we stop knowing who we are without the role. And our identity becomes tied to being needed, being relied on, like being capable, being that dependable one. So when life slows down, or when our role changes, much like when I left the military, or when the kids grow up, or when the careers shift, guess what happens? We feel a little lost. And it's because the role that defined us no longer defines your days. And no one really prepares us for that transition. So one of the things that strength should include support. It always does. Real strength is not carrying everything by ourselves or alone. Real strength includes the self-awareness, for one, emotional honesty, what we're doing right here, asking for support, reconnecting with ourselves, building a life beyond responsibilities, because strength isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being human without shame. So, a new definition of strength. Let's ask this question. What if strength looked like this instead? Admitting that we're tired, talking before we escalate a situation, choosing growth awkwardly instead of silent endurance, maybe reinvesting in ourselves and learning who we are beyond our roles. Really, because the strongest men aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who finally stop struggling alone. And if you've been the strong one for a long time, this is your reminder. You don't have to carry everything by yourself anymore. Strength and support can exist together. And we deserve both. You deserve both. So if this episode resonates with you, I want you to check out some of the programs that I've created specifically for us who feel stuck or invisible or disconnected from who we used to be. You can really start with just a reset. It's a powerful entry point designed to help us start steering us in the right direction. And you can explore the Reset Jumpstart. It's a deeper guided journey focused on rebuilding confidence and identity and getting our momentum in check and moving. And then if we feel a little bit more ready for some long-term transformation, the Unstoppable Life programs that I have created are built to help you to rediscover who you are beyond pressure, beyond expectations, beyond those responsibilities. You can find all of these at my unstoppablelifenetwork.com website. Just page down, search out for what you're looking for, and click onto it. Tune in next week where we'll be discussing who are we without titles. We're going to explore what happens when the labels, the career, the rank, the husband, the provider, the leader, are kind of stripped away from us. And the powerful question that remains, who are you when the roles are gone? Until next time, keep showing up, keep taking steps forward, and keep having those honest conversations. And remember, you don't have to figure out everything by yourself or being alone. Because this is the truth about this.